What's up, everyone? Blue here. I've got a little video. It's probably going to be a couple minutes long, and if you don't stay and watch it, you're just part of what I'll be talking about. A lot of people come to me and say that the biggest problem with console Paladins is 1, it's on console. 2, there's bugs. 3, people throw games. 4, the community. 5, this. 6, that. None of this is true. Some people come to me and say, oh, the problem with the esports scene is that, the league is this or the league is that, or only one team from each division goes to LAN. That's not the problem. You know what the real problem is for competitive console Paladins? It's the players. That's the problem. Most of them don't read. The ones who do read either A, act like they know everything and ego everyone, or B, they don't fully understand what they just read, so they don't ask. I've had over a dozen people in the last week ask me, am I roster locked? Are there roster locks? How does roster locks work? The first thing I ask all of them, no matter who they are, did you read the rules? If they say no, I say this conversation's over until you read them. If they say yes, I ask them, what part of the rules didn't you understand so I can help you better understand it? So, I just want you guys to know something real quick about Console Corner and me, okay? Because if you listen to what I say, towards the end of this video, you will start to realize why everything has just disgusted me today. Okay? When I started Console Corner, I had been playing Paladins competitively myself. I was the captain of a team. My team got the 4th seed going into the qualifiers for the PCS phase that would qualify you for the HRX in January of 2018. We had the 4th seed in PlayStation 4 North America. We lost in the first round to Runaways. Runaways then lost to Blight in the next round, and Blight beat Streets of Drury Lane to go to LAN, to go to HRX. When that team beat me, okay, I had realized something watching the broadcast of Streets of Drury Lane versus Blight. I was watching the broadcast, and something clicked in my head. I said, the same problem is still occurring that occurred during Valencia. Nobody knows who these players are. Blight had 3 people that had won Valencia, Skeppy, Shu, and Whoosh at the time. And nobody knew who they were. There were small little bits that they knew. At Valencia, oh my God. It was as if it was the first time Paladins had been played when the console teams were playing. So I sat in my living room. That's where I had my PS4 at the moment. I sat in my living room and I thought to myself, someone needs to make sure that people are aware of who they are, who these players are. The top tier players, the bottom tier players, and the players in between. All the console players. Those who put in the time and the effort to play this game competitively need to have their name heard, whether it's 1 time or 1,000 times. I said someone needs to do that. So I bought a plane ticket to Atlanta. I showed up to HRX. I bought the VIP package, everything. My own money. Bought a ticket to HRX. Bought the VIP pass. Bought the after party pass. I got there every day before the doors opened to the public. I left when they were locking the doors to the venue. I ate the shitty food in the venue every day because I didn't want to leave. The only time I left my seat is when A, I had to use the restroom, or B, I went outside to vape for a smoke break in between sets. I watched every single PC set, and I watched every single console set. I screamed, I yelled, I hollered, I made a fucking fool of myself because I knew if I was going to do anything remotely close to what I was picturing and imagining in my head, that I needed an audience. I needed someone to watch this. I need someone to listen to me. So if I do what all the other hundreds and dozens of people did at HRX and walk up to pro PC players and the console players that were playing on that HRX stage and say, hello, it's good to meet you. My name's Blue. I'm a big fan. And then I walk away or I hold a 5-minute conversation about Paladins with them. Then within a fucking week after that, they would not know who the fuck I was. Just like every other Joe Schmo that did the exact same thing to them. So instead, I bought a freaking Vuvuzela horn. And I made a lot of noise. I annoyed the crap out of everyone. The goal was not to be loved. The goal was not to be popular. The goal was to not be forgotten. Because when I get home and a month goes by and I pop into someone's stream and I say, hello, and they say to a normal person, oh, hello, it was good seeing you at HRX. Oh, you too, man. I pop into a stream and I say, what's up? It was good meeting you at HRX. I had a great time. Yo, it's the Vuvuzela kid. And then I took all of that attention and I directed it towards a freaking show, a movement. Nobody was covering Console Paladin, so I did that. And I used all of that attention, all of the people that I annoyed, to bring it towards Console Paladins. I found new and innovative ways to create engaging content. And I made my appearance as an analyst on the analyst desk at HRX in November at DreamHack Atlanta. That was not just an accomplishment for me. That was an accomplishment for the Console Paladins community as a whole. That was for all of us. Most people don't understand that. There were PC players coming up to me saying, yo, what you've done over this past year is amazing. There were PC players coming up to me saying, when does console start? I would say, why? They say, I want to watch it. Some people would say, I want to watch these console games. Some people would say, I'm going to watch these console games, but only because you're on the desk. Only because of what you've done for these console players. And I appreciate all of the support from all of you. Today I realized that, everyone wants roster breakdown videos. But after what happened today, and let's get to it. PCL European qualifiers open bracket week 3 were today, February 23rd, 2019, okay? And you know what happened? 14 ambitious teams showed up in the PlayStation 4 European region. And one of them was named Cyclone. Cyclone was in the PCL in 2018. They're a good team. They've got good players. They've made some roster adjustments. Well, today, they made a new roster adjustment, and it was one that cost them their chance at the PCL. The final week of open bracket qualifiers, the final chance for teams to make group stages. Cyclone, because of their seeding, they have to win 2 sets to make it to the Final Four. 2 sets, and they will guarantee a spot into the group stages. After that, after those 2 sets, they are just fighting for their seeding. strategic seeding. They win their first set 2-0. They win their second, or they're in their second set, they win game 1. I'm watching the bracket live. I'm excited for Cyclone. I go to the restroom. I come back. Cyclone's no longer in the second round, and it's the team they faced in the first round has now advanced. Cyclone gets DQ'd. Why? So I do some digging, talk to some admins, talk to some players, hop on the PlayStation so I can talk to people in party chats. Comes to find out that I'm keyboard player from iTech, who is your #1 seed in Group A, because they won the tournament in week 1, so they qualified. And there's 5 players in their starting rotation, and without them realizing, they are roster locked. Okay, we're going back to the rules thing here. If you qualify, you're roster locked. If you don't qualify, but you play an open bracket, you must keep 3 out of your 5 players in the next week's qualifying open bracket tournament to keep your seeding points. Okay? Now, the rules are a little funky written because they were written for the old system and not the new system. So I understand if you're a little confused, but if you make group stages, you are roster locked. Okay? Doesn't say 3 out of 5 for that part. Your whole team's roster locked. So I'm keyboard player who also said that, I don't speak facts in my roster videos. Which also brings me back to the roster videos, because a lot of people are always saying, where's our roster video? Where's our roster video? And I tell them, you haven't qualified for groups. Why would I make a roster video? And here's the reason why. I make a roster video. The first one I made was for a PS4 North American team named Scoopedia. About 2 to 3 days after I released that video, the team lost players. They broke up. Some players left, and, they had their reasoning. I don't care what it was. So, in doing so, you have just wasted my time, because I go through the 3 different content creation, whatever. I don't even know the word for it. I have my written, I have my written form of content. I write out the entire script so that I can put the written form on, for people who like to read. I have the video format for the people who want to watch the video, see visuals. And then I have an audio format so that people can take that and they can listen to it on the go outside of YouTube, Spotify, and podcast form. You wasted my time. Okay? That is basically how I take it. You don't care about my time. You also don't care about your teams too, apparently. So there you go. So after that, I said, you know what? I'm going back to my original form of content creation, and that is creating strategic content. Okay? So after that, I decided that I would only be making roster breakdown videos for teams that qualify for group stages. Okay? So I did one. I had one other video that team hasn't qualified for groups yet, but that team, I'm not gonna lie, that team's roster video would grab a lot of attention and a lot of traffic and a lot of views to the channel. So that's the reason behind it. Plus it has top tier players like Skeppy, Miracle, and Whoosh. So you can't deny that would be a video to be seen. So I made a video for iTech. On iTech's team is a player named I'm Keyboard Player. Now, he uses a controller, from what everyone knows, and apparently he left iTech, so he joined Cyclone. So he's playing on Cyclone's team, even though he's roster locked to a team that's already made group qualifiers. And Cyclone gets DQ'd. Now, I don't know who on Cyclone thought this was going to be a good idea, but that is just stupid. You are stupid. I talked to one of the players from Cyclone. He said, it wasn't my decision. I just wanted to play. I said, listen, you had options and you chose not to go down the correct path. You chose not to go down the path where, yes, you're not going to play, but you're getting DQ'd. You're hurting your own reputation because of your team's decision. He said, all of my grinding and all of my hard work would have been worth nothing. Let me tell you something, homie. It's worth less than nothing right now. In my eyes, it's worth even less than nothing now. And for keyboard player, he said everything I said in the roster breakdown video about him was false. No. It turns out it's true. I said you are known and rumored to be toxic. I'm not saying you're toxic for whatever happened with you and your teammates on iTech, but you're toxic for not reading the rules and realizing that you would cost Cyclone their chance at making the league. Okay, that's one. Two, from what I've heard, you tried to play on a Smurf. So that's even worse because you tried to hide the fact that you are cheating, that you are breaking the rules. Now, because that happened, some people wanted to bring up the fact that, and this is rumored, and these are reports coming into me, I don't know if this is true, that Welshmania, who is roster locked to Gagan style, because they got the #1 seed week 1 of Xbox EU qualifiers, was playing for Team Viral as a sub in week 2 against Bust Down. And then they lose the French agency. So one, Welsh, why are you doing this? You are just as bad as I'm keyboard player. And I called keyboard player a disgrace to competitive console Paladins. Now, Viral didn't get disqualified because no one reported it. So here's my question. People told me Welsh didn't even play on a Smurf. I don't know if any of this Welsh stuff is true. But if he didn't play on a Smurf and he did sub, that's disrespect. This is a disgrace. What are you doing? And Bust Down is North American players. Dreams, Regan, Swarmso, Pear Doggo, whoever their fifth is that I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Are all of you completely dumb? In the past, you could play on teams like this. But if you read the rules, you would have been like, wait a minute, why is Welsh subbing for them? You're stupid for not reporting that. Then there's the case of, oh, iTech are snitches. Sir Benji's a snitch because he snitched on keyboard player. Listen, yeah, I understand that Sir Benji did this out of spite because he's upset that his team had just lost his DPS player. But he did the right thing. He did the right thing. And nobody can convince me that he didn't. Then there's a whole just spaz fest in the Discord PCL chat. Everyone arguing amongst each other. I went in there and I said, I'm disgusted with all of you. Stop arguing. Keyboard players in there saying, oh, so-and-so is playing on a Smurf for you. So-and-so is playing on a Smurf for this person, and this person, and this person. Look at you, bro. Look at you. Your ship just sank, and now you're trying to bring a whole community down with you. Accept your DQ, bro. Now, here... This is a complete joke. This is a complete joke, and I'm disgusted with everyone. You know what the problem is? The problem is I'm not disgusted with the players' actions. I'm disgusted with the mentality of everybody wants to be a professional gamer. Everybody wants to be in esports. Everybody wants to be a pro Paladins console player. Everybody wants more teams that go to LAN. Everybody wants more matches in the PCL. Everybody wants more teams in the PCL. Everybody wants more teams, more organizations. Everybody wants to sign to an org. Everybody wants all the benefits, all the money. They want to be paid by orgs. They want free gear from orgs and sponsorships. They want money from winning championships. They want to go to LAN. They want all these perks, all these benefits. They want the name Pro Paladins Console Player, but they don't want to act like professionals. Cyclone, do you understand that you just got disqualified? Your names are tainted. You just put a bad, you just disrespected the Cyclone organization. Orgs come to me all the time. Hey, what team should we be looking at in console? Hey, I'm looking to sign a console team. Guess what? Hey, what players should we start looking at to sponsor? Not Centurio. Not Nox Mave. Not anybody else on that team. Why? Not keyboard player. Why? Because you disrespected Cyclone. If you want to be a professional esports athlete, you need to act like a professional. Being a professional gamer is more than just winning games. It's more than just being good. It's more than just winning money and going to LANs. It's representing your community, representing your league, representing the game you play, representing your organization, your sponsorships, your team in a professional manner. I understand you're all young. I understand most of you are kids. But if you want to be something, act like it. Who's to blame? Everyone. Sir Benji's to blame. iTech's to blame. Cyclone's to blame. The people on Cyclone are to blame. Keyboard players to blame. Skill shots to blame. Everyone who knew about this is to blame. Welshmania is to blame. If what happened with him is true. Gagan style for letting that happen. Viral for doing that. Bust down for not reporting it. Is to blame. Now, how do we fix this? I'll tell you how we fix this. If I'm in charge, okay? Now, going back to the beginning, what was the problem with Console Paladins? There was no representation. There was no awareness for the players, for the league, for the tournaments, for the teams. So what did I do? I started a sports show to cover it all, to raise awareness, and we did. I got on the desk. Shout out to Rain Day, Gore, and Pretty Hair because they started messaging me. They asked me questions. They asked me for information. They accepted the stuff I gave them. They put up with my BS. My thousands and thousands of messages, my thousands of stats. They brought me to Atlanta. They nurtured me. They put me on the desk, gave me a microphone, and told me to go nuts. Problem solved. Next problem. We needed more. So I made Console Corner bigger. Built a team with select individuals. The league got bigger. The league got longer. So how do we fix this? Right? If I'm in charge, I raised awareness for Console Paladins. I became a part of the broadcasting team. You have to understand that everything I do, there is a bigger picture ahead. You are not just playing this game to play this game. You are playing this game as representatives of Paladins, the console community, the PCL, Skillshot, Hi-Rez, yourself, your organization, the future younger players, and the PCL hopefuls, the spectators, the fans, the casters, and the analysts. They look at you as role models and icons, and you're essentially just kids wanting free benefits. It's like people who get jobs but don't want to do their job. They want money, but they don't want a job. How do we fix this? If I'm in charge, here's what's happening. I'm keyboard player is banned. You're banned from PCL. You're banned from playing in the group stages as well. If I'm in charge, Welshmania is suspended for group stages. If his team doesn't make PCL, oh well. It's his fault. If they make it into the league, his suspension is up after group stages. He can play in the PCL. Keyboard player is banned. Or maybe we suspend him. Cyclone, if I'm the leader of the Cyclone organization, whether I have contracts with these players or not, I'm cutting them all loose. All benefits, whether they're paid or not, whether they got free gear or they're about to or not, cut off. Take their banners off of your Twitter and take Cyclone out of your Twitter names. You're no longer part of my organization. If they don't do that, you send them a cease and desist. I'm cutting ties with them. They disrespected and they dishonored my organization. If I'm the players on Cyclone, I'm thinking long and hard about my choices right now. If I'm iTech, I'm finding a new DPS player. I don't want a keyboard player. I don't care how good he is mechanically at the game. I don't want anyone that does that. He hurt iTech in this, and he hurt Cyclone in this as well. Nobody's happy in this situation, let me tell you something. But let me tell you who the only happy person is coming out of this entire situation is Don Canolo. Because Cyclone did him dirty. And now look at Cyclone. And Donka has a chance at becoming the DPS player for iTech. And that would just be the biggest FU of 2019 console Paladins. Cyclone doesn't make it into group stages. No chance at making it into the league. Those players now have a tainted reputation and possibly could not make a team who makes PCL. And then you have Donka, who makes iTech, and they make the league. And Donka's in the league without Cyclone after getting just disrespected by them. That's incredible. That's the biggest FU headline of 2019's console Paladins. Now, if I'm Skillshot and I need to fix this league, here's how I'm fixing it. I'm hiring Blue to restructure the league and the league rules. If I'm in charge of the league rules, there's no region locks, okay? Except for if you sign up to play in a region, you are roster locked to that region. You are region locked to that region. You play on NA in week 1, guess what? Week 2 and week 3, you can't play on EU, buddy. Okay? You can't play on EU. I'm unlocking regions. All right? There's no 4 PS4 EU teams and no 4 PS4 NA teams. There's 6 teams total. 6 PS4 teams and 6 Xbox teams. Okay? That's if I'm in charge. Second, whether you are signed to an org or not, you are signing a contract in my league. Okay? Rosters for each team, org or not, need to be submitted by a deadline. Once they're submitted, 5-man rosters with options of 2 subs. You are roster locked to that team from the beginning of qualifiers to the end of the season. There could be a trade deadline. All parties have to accept trades. Orgs, teams, players, and the league commissioner, league admins. There's a trade deadline. There's trade restrictions. There's trade rules. I would be the one writing those. Another thing is, you qualify for groups, you're roster locked because you're already roster locked going into the beginning of qualifiers. Someone leaves a team, they're fined, and they're not allowed to join another team. Any other problems or complications during the season? Fines. You want to be professionals? You want to call yourself professionals? You're going to have to act and be treated like them. Okay? You want to be professional players? Good. I'll treat you like one. I'll write the rules so that a 2-year-old could understand them. Okay? You don't read them, that's your problem. You're getting fined. We issue suspensions too. That's if I'm in charge. That's how we fix this. So bottom line is I'm disgusted with PS4 EU because for 3 hours after all of this happened, it was just people slandering each other, trying to bring everyone down with you. Xbox EU is not innocent either, especially if the Welshmania thing is true. That's it for me. Oh, and like I said, I'm naming names. I don't care. 2019, Blue has no filter. I'm telling the truth, how it is, like it is. You either like it or you don't, that's fine. And also, if this hurts my reputation with Skillshot and Hi-Rez to be a broadcast, I'm a part of their broadcast team, I'm going to have to accept that. I don't want it to. I love those guys. I would love to keep working with them. I changed my name. I built my brand to be a part of their team. But the biggest problem with Paladins console competitive esports are the players. You want to be a pro? Act like a pro.